Hello YouTube, this is TheOSgamingHD. I decided to just do something new for you guys today. I'm doing a player predictions video. Manchester United, Premier League. One of my favorite teams personally, but I'm gonna try to keep these reviews from being biased or anything like that. They're more statistical than my actual opinion, but I've seen videos and watched some matches of these players, so if I know anything about a team, I probably know more about Manchester United than any other team or any other club. Um, so I'm gonna start off with De Gea, Spanish goalkeeper, 80 rated, rare card. Um, He's got good diving, good reflexes, 51 speed, 85 kicking, 74 positioning, 71 handling. It's actually the most popular card on FIFA 13 Ultimate Team, out of anybody. But I haven't used him on FIFA 13, but apparently in real life he played much better. And I've noticed that was much more solid than he was 2 seasons ago. So, I boosted him up too. I think he was one of the most improved players in the whole Premier League. He has 87 diving in my opinion, or he will on FIFA 14. 89 reflexes, 74 handling. I left his kicking the same at 85, and I added +2 to his speed and +3 to his positioning, as I feel 74 is a bit low. Then on to Rio Ferdinand. I know he's getting a bit old. He's close to retiring, but I think, he had an inform. He was on the English Premier League team of the season. I think he was very good defensively, so I've boosted him to an 84. I give him +6 to his pace, which I know seems like a lot, but I really feel like 58's a bit low for him. I would say he's actually probably close to about 70 pace, but that's never going to happen. EA won't boost him that much. So I think 64. I see realistically he'll probably be 61, 62, but I also added 1 point to his defense, so he's 85 defense in my opinion. Or he will be. I think his card next year is going to be good, and I can't wait to use it. Then on to Rafael. Brazilian, 84 pace, 76 defense, 73 passing, 78 dribbling. Not much to say about him. He was pretty solid. I feel like he should have at least 60 shots, so I give him a +3 to that. I added 2 to his defense and 1 to his pace, so I made him a 79 rated rare card. Vidic. From Serbia, I believe. I think he was rated too high on FIFA 13. I mean, he's higher than Puyo, Piqué, Mascherano, Sergio Ramos. I think he's the highest standard center back, like non-inform or team of the year or team of the season card that's in the game. And I don't feel like he should be 89 rated, especially since he was injured. EA tend to downgrade people that were out for a big part of the season. But I feel like he was a bit faster than 59 pace in the 2012-2013 season. So I did somewhat what I did to Ferdinand. I boosted him to 62, but I did make him go down to an 87 from an 89. So I took 2 away from his defense and 2 away from his heading. Still a solid player. Patrice Evra. I used him in my French squad builder. You guys want to go check it out? It was a good video, in my opinion. He's a good player, too. 79 pace, 82 defending, 78 passing, 78 heading are his key stats. He's not bad dribbling for a left back either, but I think he was a good player, but I think he should be faster than 79 pace, but I took one away from his defense down to an 81 defense. In my opinion, he's probably on the verge of going down to an 82, maybe even an 81, but it depends whether EA want to be harsh or not towards him. But I think he should maintain his rating of an 83. Michael Carrick. I'm just going to say, I was reading just about transfers and all that online, and I came across an article. Michael Carrick has, or had last season, more completed forward passes than any other player in all of Europe. And I think it was a top 5 list that I saw, or top 10 or something like that. Santi Cazorla was on there, Pirlo was on there, Xavi was on there, and Xavi and Pirlo have above 90 passing. So, I mean, I gave him a big upgrade to his passing. I gave him +5 to his passing to an 88, +4 to his pace because 61 is way too slow for him. -1 to his shot, considering Michael Carrick played 36 games and only scored 1 goal, but he had 4 assists, so it seems awful, but he was a big part of Manchester United's starting squad. And I give +2 to his defense. Nani, Portuguese player. He's a substitute for their national team because he's the same position as Ronaldo, which isn't really relevant, but he's one of my favorite players that plays for Manchester United, but to be honest with you, he's inconsistent. Last season, he only started 11 games, and he had 1 goal and 2 assists, which is pretty god-awful for an 85 rated player. So I made him go down to an 83. Watching him, he didn't play that well. I took 3 away from his shot, 1 away from a passing, and 1 away from his pace. I feel that 86 pace is about right, but I think his dribbling should still be at 89 because I think he's very smooth and he can get past defenders easily when he's on the ball. Valencia, right mid, plays on the wing. I added a few points to his defense because I feel like he covered for Raphael for part of the season at least. Just during some games, I noticed Raphael was up on the pitch and he stayed back to cover. He was pretty bad. He started 30 games last season and scored once and had 5 assists. So I figured I'd add 1 to his passing because he set up a few goals. So I give him 80 passing. I took 6 away from his heading just to balance it out because I don't think he's very good at directing headers, but I added to his defense, took 1 away from his dribbling, and took 3 away from his shot. I left his pace the same because I feel that he's still very fast. Hernandez. One of my favorite players again. I don't really like the Mexican national team, but I think he's their best player. He's 90 pace, 76 shooting, 77 heading, 74 dribbling. Those are his key stats on FIFA 13. But on FIFA 14, I decided to keep him the same. I took -2 away from his pace. I added 1 to his shot, gave him +2 on his passing, because he did actually have 3 assists, which isn't bad. 10 goals. That was in 22 games. So I added to his shot, that's why. And I took away from his defense. And left his heading the same. Van Persie. Robin Van Persie. His first season at Manchester United, transferred from Arsenal. I think he's worth about £40 million now. He's a good player. He's Dutch. I would boost him to a 90, but I only did it to an 89 because I feel he's going to have a lot of informs and definitely a team of the season, maybe even a team of the year, so I think he needs room for non-standard cards. I think he should have 80 pace, but I can see EA leaving him at 78 or only giving him a 79. If they're generous, they'll give him 80 pace, but I think he'll have at least 90 shot. I gave him 91 because he's a good penalty taker. He can take corners. He scored a hat trick against Aston Villa. His first volley against Fulham. First goal at United. It was his debut match too. He's a great player. I added 2 to his passing and 2 to his shot. I added to his dribbling as he's very smooth and agile when he dribbles. And I added 2 to his heading, which I think 68's a bit low. This morning, actually, against Malaysian All-Stars, I believe, actually. I live in the U.S., so I had to wake up pretty early to watch it, but it was worth it. He scored both goals, but his first one was a nice header from quite a ways out. So I think his heading should be 70. Wayne Rooney, English player, probably England's best player. I gave him 79 pace, left it the same. I took away 1 from his dribbling, 1 from his passing, 1 from his shot, and left his heading and defense the same. He's a good header, so I think 82 is about right. Even though I didn't take away from him that much, it's not just that I'm a big fan of Rooney, but shot and dribbling are probably his 2 most important stats in a center forward. And passing is important too, considering he sets up a lot of goals for Chicharito and Van Persie and all those guys. So I gave him a -2 down to an 87. The one thing that I'd like to talk about, though, mostly is his defense. I think his defense, on FIFA 12, it was, I believe, 71, and they took 10 points away from it, which I don't think is right. He might even get changed to a center attacking mid next year, actually. That's what I would guess at least, but because I've noticed he was more of a cam than a center forward. But his defense should at least be 70. He's always up and down the pitch, and he reminds me of Gareth Bale in a way. They both, like a train engine, they're all over the pitch. And he's not that bad at tackling and getting interceptions. I think 61's a bit low. Young, speed demon. He's getting a bit old now. I believe he's a year older than Nani, which, he might be over 30 now. He's got 85 dribbling, 89 pace, 75 passing, 76 shot. He's a good card, but I made him go down to an 81 because, he actually started more than Nani. He started 19 games, had no goals and 3 assists. But I took away from his pace because I feel that's why most people use him, because he's fast and he has good passing and shooting. From watching him play, I don't think he did make some shots, and I don't think they were horrible. I think the goalie just made good saves. So I left it the same, but I added to his passing because he had some nice all-around good passes this season, and his assists were set up quite well. Next up is Fletcher. I don't see him getting a rare next year. I don't think he's developed enough, but he only started or played 3 games last year. I think these are starting games. So he only started 3 games last year. But he did have 2 assists and 1 goal, so that's either scoring or setting up 3 goals. So I added 1 to his passing just for the assists that he made, and I added 1 to his heading because I think 82 heading and 82 defense and 80 heading just work well together for someone like Fletcher. Kagawa, possibly going back to Dortmund. I don't think he will. I think that rumor's starting to die off a little bit, but Dortmund said they would love to welcome him back. He's only been at United for 1 season, but apparently he was one of their best players. But I did boost him because he played quite well in 20 games, he had 6 goals and 3 assists, which isn't horrible. I added to his shot, his passing, and his defense. Boosted him once to an 84, up 1 level. I gave him 83 pace, left it the same. Left his dribbling and heading the same because I think 88's high enough, and he's not very good at heading, obviously, but I give him 73 shots, 75 passing, and 45 defense because 42 just doesn't seem right for someone of his skill. And then Zaha, transferred from Crystal Palace. He only scored 8 goals in all games, but he was voted the N-Power Championship Player of the Year, England's highest league besides the EPL. So I made him a 75 rated right wing. I think he'll still be a rare. Sorry about that, but I think his pace will stay the same. I added 7 to his shot because his goals were quite nice. 4 to his defense and 5 to his heading, just to even those numbers out. I think he'll be one of their key players next year, especially after Scholes has left, retired, and I think even Ryan Giggs might be retiring. Welbeck, young, still developing. I watched a highlight video of him last night. He played 13 games and had 1 goal and 4 assists, but this guy is fast. 85 is high, and it seems too low for him. I mean, I boosted him to 88 pace. I don't know why it says plus 5 pace. So, plus 3 pace. I left his shot the same. It seems about right, but I added to his passing, his dribbling, and his heading. I think he'll be a rather expensive card next year, actually.